It be y'all, and now the girl on there with the. I was going to come through, swoop you, and lace you with some bling, boo.
Good. Please, could you help
Yeah,
a brother
sure,
out?
yeah. There we go. All right, there you go.
There's some people that have more success than me, but their success, it wasn't as long lasting because they didn't have the right foundation, or their success came to a crash because their family wasn't, or they didn't have real people that genuinely love them and want what's best for them.
From lighting up That's So Raven with his unmatched charisma and stealing the spotlight on the Tracy Morgan Show, let's give it up for Bobb'e J for making all of our childhoods a whole lot better.
You want people to see that I'm cultured? Then why don't you strap me to a grand piano and roll me down the street?
But it looks like the top brass in Hollywood turned a blind eye to the child actor's unmistakable talent. In fact, if you're looking to pass on the blame to someone for making Thompson take a backseat, there's one actor who deserves to be burnt at the stake for giving Bobb'e the cold shoulder. And believe it or not, it was none other than his co-star. Here's J Thompson breaking his silence on how badly he got treated in Hollywood. Thompson got the taste of the spotlight when he was only 5. Some of you might remember him owning the screen as Lil Tupac in the comedy film My Baby's Daddy. After that killer performance, it didn't take Bobb'e long to land a role in the short-lived NBC series The Tracy Morgan Show from 2003 to 2004. The show put Bobb'e on the map as he proved his talent to everyone at a young age. However, behind the scenes, the child star was fighting for a seat at the table. And after years of keeping it in, Bobb'e is finally holding the culprit responsible for making his life a living hell on set. He sat down with Comedy Hype News recently to spill the tea, and boy, was it piping hot. Apparently, someone grabbed him by the collar and began cursing at him on set, even called him the N-word.
The star of this project that I was working on, bro, this nigga got mad at me, bro, and I'm just a 7-year-old kid just doing my job, bro. Nigga got mad at me, bro, grabbed me up by my collar and was like, who the name is on that sign, my nigga?
Talk about taking things too far. Mind you, Bobb'e was only 7 at the time. That's no way to treat a child, regardless of what he had done. As for why Bobb'e was treated so badly, well, it turns out the person in question was burning with jealousy. And honestly, we get it. Bobb'e always had an intense energy on the screen. He was no different back in the day.
You were known as a scene stealer. So I could imagine that, if Bobb'e get on the scene, my light might get a little bit like, not necessarily dim, but his up's not as bright as his.
If someone who's only 7 was owning the show, we'd be pretty pissed too. But grabbing them by the collar? Nah, fam. That's just downright wrong.
Stop getting in these scenes and hamming it up. Like we just always say, stop hamming it up.
Apparently, Thompson's co-star told him to stop stealing the show. Insecure much? We can only imagine the hell Bobb'e went through when he did make a mistake on set. According to the That's So Raven star, the anonymous person would put him through the ringer, zeroing in on the tiniest mistakes.
If I would like miss a line because I'm making a facial expression or doing something like, you know what I mean? Though, stop doing all that. Like, nigga would get mad at me, bro.
So, who exactly is this person who acted like the devil on set? Well, drum roll, please.
Who you think?
I think it's Tracy Morgan. I mean, you said the name on the show. Now I got to Google it. I mean, hopefully, if it's not, I would imagine you would clear it up. But that's got to be messed up.
I ain't ducking nothing. Yeah, it's Tracy Morgan.
Shocker, right? You'd think as the adult on set, Tracy would have, well, acted like an adult. But God knows what he was on, because he acted like the exact opposite. And get this.
Turned around when did the interview and acted like it was all good. Like, oh yeah, if he's still in the scene, then that's what it should be. I only want the best. But nigga, that's cap. That ain't the truth. That ain't how you felt for real. Because you took me as a 7-year-old child and made me feel bad for doing my job well. Only thing I was doing was doing what I was learning from you, my nigga.
Oh, and Tracy didn't stop there.
In these rooms with these producers and these networks, he was hating on me, my boy.
But that's not the worst part. Growing up, Bobb'e greatly admired Tracy. In fact, his style of comedy was heavily influenced by the 30 Rock star. Imagine you meet Rihanna after years of fangirling over her, and she treats you like complete trash. Yeah, that's pretty much how it was for Bobb'e.
It's like when your idol become your rival. And it's like, damn, what I do to make you a rival?
And as you can imagine, he ended up in the slammer because of it.
That hurt me. That messed me up though, bro, because I'm 7 years old. And this person, everything that I'm doing it because I'm watching you. I'm learning from you.
And if you're wondering where the adults were, well, as it turns out, Tracy wasn't dumb. When he felt like raining on Bobbie's parade,
He asked my mama for a cigarette, so he threw my mama off. He sent my mama to get him a cigarette. She was like, "Mama, Miss Jack, you give me a cigarette." I walk out to give me a cigarette. So in that quick little 1 minute, 60 seconds, he kind of laid into me. Pause.
this pretty much means that Morgan wasn't acting in the heat of the moment. He had everything planned, down to how to cover his tracks. But you know what the cool part is? Even after the mistreatment, Bobb'e didn't want to stick pins in Tracy's voodoo doll. He's cool with Tracy and doesn't expect an apology from him.
I don't got no bad blood. I don't feel no something. But at that age, 7-year-old Bobb'e still bothered me. The kid in me is still hurt about that. The kid in me, that still hurts the kid in me. Like the grown man in me don't give a damn.
Talk about being the bigger person. At least someone is, because Tracy sure wasn't. Speaking of, Tracy has not responded to the allegations yet, but we're guessing his DMs are swarmed with angry fans reading him to filth, as it should be. However, in the end, Bobb'e was able to grow some nerves of steel thanks to the hell that Tracy put him through. It made him ready for the trials to come, and man, were there a lot of them. So we all know how young actors are forced to take on roles that don't necessarily align with their values. Well, Bobb'e ran into a similar situation early on in his career. Now, Thompson didn't drop the title, but according to him, the film was great.
I won't say any title, but there was a film I was offered at one point where they wanted me to portray some things that I just wasn't, I wasn't cool with. And it was the film itself, I was great. It was a great film. Won some awards. It was a big film.
However, he ended up turning down the role. Why? Because they wanted him to play a gay man, and that wasn't exactly his vibe. Mind you, this was when Bobb'e was in high school. At this point, things weren't really looking too hot for him. He could have used the dollar bills, y'all. But guess what he told the directors? He told them he'd be willing to do the role as long as it didn't have the specific part which bothered him. Heck, he would have agreed to even a small role in the movie as long as it didn't compromise his values. Side note, Bobb'e doesn't have anything against the LGBTQ community.
I wasn't willing to portray what they wanted me to portray for that film. It was a great film, but for me and what I stand for, what I believe in, it just wasn't.
And if you think it was an easy decision, well, think again, because there were $350,000 on the table.
It was like nice little 6 figures. It was over a quarter, a little less than 500. It was a nice little, It was a nice payday.
Yeah, you heard that right. If that doesn't tell you what kind of actor Bobb'e is, we don't know what will. And guess what? Bobb'e still stands by his decision to this day. You won't catch him sulking about passing up an award-winning movie because that's just the kind of man he is. Unfortunately, life had more trials in store for Bobb'e. Up until now, Thompson had proved one thing. If someone needed a troublemaker on the screen, then Bobb'e was the man to call. Believe it or not, he had some real-life experience to draw inspiration from. However, that's not a role that Bobb'e wanted to define him for the rest of his career.
Being the bad kid came natural to me. I was a bad kid in real life. I was a smart mouth kid that was, ahead of my time. Like that was who I was. So playing those roles came natural.
As he grew up, he wanted to do more serious stuff and prove to everyone that he was capable of doing more. But that's when Hollywood started giving him the cold shoulder.
I believe so. In the moment I tried to break out that boxes, I think they silenced me in a sense. The moment I tried to stop being the bad kid on TV, I feel like they did.
There came a point when the only auditions he was getting were somewhere along the roles he had done in the past. It's like the industry refused to hear out Bobb'e. So what did the actor do? Well, Mama didn't raise no pushover. He put his foot down and straight up refused to do the auditions.
23 years old. I'm 22. I'm not playing nobody's bad kid. I did that. And if that's all y'all got for me, then respectfully, I'll find me something else.
For context, it ain't easy standing up to the big boss, especially when you don't have a leg to stand on in the industry. But Bobb'e ain't your run-of-the-mill actor. Now, there's an elephant in the room we need to address. Remember how Bobb'e's a Nickelodeon child star and the recent allegations against the television channel? A lot of fans have been wondering if one of the reasons why Bobb'e took a step back from the industry was because of all the shady stuff that was going down behind the scenes. And thankfully, the answer's no. Turns out that Bobb'e's mom did a good job of protecting him against any devils looking to exploit the young star from the shadows. Bobb'e said it would have been a cold day in hell before his mother put him in a situation like that. Her baby's safety was always her top priority.
People knew my mama wasn't going. I feel like I just go back to me just having a solid foundation and a real, like, my mama would have pulled the plug. What? Ain't no, we gone. I go back. My mama go back to working 2 jobs before she pimped me or let y'all pimp me. So I'm blessed to have. Like I said, I'm blessed with a lot of like kids. Some people that have more success than me, but their success wasn't as long lasting because they didn't have the right foundation, or their success came to a crashing, you know what I mean, type crash and burn type thing because their family wasn't, or they didn't have real people that genuinely love them and want what's best for them. Like my mama always wanted what was best for me, whether it's me being on TV or whether it's me just being a regular kid again.
Let's give it up for Mama Bear once. That said, despite the despicable treatment from Tracy and Hollywood freezing him out, Bobb'e managed to prove everyone wrong. He's sitting on a cool $2.5 million today. Take that, Morgan. He came out with A Rich Christmas in 2021 and starred in the Australian Lifestyle Living Rooms Lifestyle, where he played the role of DJ. You can also catch him spitting bars on the improv comedy Wildin' Out.
Not nice. You so fat, your favorite color is red. Beans and rice.
And according to his IMDb page, he's got 2 projects in the works, namely A Family's Fury and Generation Angst. Let's see how Bobb'e tears up the screen in the future. You better watch out, Tracy Morgan.